Hey, folks, welcome to the Accessible Hunter Podcast. I'm Greg Trainer along with my partner, Mike Hudson. And today we got a really good podcast. One of our good friends from North Carolina, Greg Groce, and his buddy, Keene Steadman. But first, Mike, what's going on in South Carolina, brother? Looks like you're ready for the polar vortex.
Hey man, I'm hunkered down, buddy. It's chilly in South Carolina this morning. It was 37. We've been getting rain over the last 3 days, which is kind of odd for us. It seems like a month since we've had any rain, then all of a sudden we're just getting inundated. But yeah, dude, I don't play that cold stuff, and so I'm hunkered down. I'm ready to go.
Man, I'd be right there with you. I'm by myself today, and I'm a little bit chilly. It was in the 30s here. My wife's at work, and I gotta find my hat here and get something on this bald head because I'm about ready to shiver, and I don't have any hot tea today. So I'm right there with you. But Greg and Keene, how's it going in North Carolina, boys?
Well, it's a beautiful day down here. We've had the same rain, but it's a little cold and clearing up this morning.
Yeah, yeah,
We're so glad that both of you could join us. And, Greg and I have been friends for a long time on Facebook. And it seems like I hardly ever get to meet people in person, but we've been following Greg and everything he's doing with his A.L.S. Outdoorz page. And for those that don't know, Greg does have A.L.S. and Keene's going to be helping him out with his voice today. Last year we had Greg on and we used voice to text technology. I had given Greg the questions in advance and we had voice to text, but this is so much better. We appreciate you guys taking the time. And man, it looks like you got some great bucks there behind you, Greg.
Yeah, yeah,
Ke-
yeah.
Keen,
That's
would, Keen, would you like to explain a little bit about the situation? You guys are friends and how you've been hunting together and everything.
yeah, sure. So Greg and I met in 2021. He and I are not lifelong friends. I met him after diagnosis. We were put together by a mutual friend on a turkey hunt, and we were successful on that hunt, and we've been friends ever since. And it's just grown into, um, more like a brotherhood than a
yeah.
friendship. And we've traveled all over the place hunting and chasing deer and turkeys and fishing, and we are just exploring every avenue that we have made available to us to be able to get in the woods. We've had friends along the way that have provided hydraulic handicap deer blinds that we've drug up and down the
Yeah.
highway to set up and hunt. And our friends in Indiana with the turkey tracks, um, they invited us up a few years ago, and we've made 3 trips up there and been successful all 3 trips. But they had um, the equipment available for us to use, and a fantastic group of volunteers that just made it easy. Uh, with A.L.S. and other diseases and things that people are living with, you just have to be creative, and we've
Right.
done it. We were provided access to a track chair this past year, and that has made life so much easier getting in and out of the woods and being more safe. We got caught up in a situation this past spring, uh, going to the bathroom in the woods, and the wheelchair rolled away from me, and I was trying to hold
Oh
Greg.
boy.
Greg grabbed the wheelchair with my foot, and we got that situation uh, worked out. But it was pretty hairy for a little while. And once we
Right.
got settled down, we got laughed about it. But we've had several adventures like that along the way where we just had to overcome some unique situations.
It's
But
funny how God brings us people in our path that allow us to continue to push forward and be more productive. And it sounds like that's exactly what's going on in this situation. Keen, you come along and you say you're not lifelong friends, but it doesn't take long once you get in the woods and you figure out, hey, this is a partnership that's way beyond our doing. Um, and
absolutely.
and being able to get out there and not only be successful, just to be able to get back out in any aspect of it and chase these animals is what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, I've told many people along this journey that I don't know who God sent to who, him to me or me to him or both,
Right.
because it's been a grand adventure for me also.
You know, Keene, that's one of the big things. And Greg, you know this as well, that people come into our lives sometimes at the right time.
Oh yeah.
As you guys said, you're not lifelong friends, but I doubt that there's two people, closer than you guys getting together in a ground blind. You sit with somebody for a few hours in a ground blind, and that kind of moves that relationship or that brotherhood further. Sometimes I've known people for 40 years and they're not as close to me as people that I hunt with for the last year or so. And that's not a knock on those friendships. It's just a different type of brotherhood and passion. And when you're relying on somebody to get you out and doing things that you love, I think it makes you closer.
Oh, absolutely. We've spent a lot of time in the blind, a lot of time in the truck, going to and from our outdoor adventures, and that's what they are.
Oh yeah.
It's easy when you got property right at home and easy access, but our best hunting land is about 3.5 hours from here. So
Right.
we try to plan that out and take advantage of it as much as we can.
It's a whole different scenario when you got a runaway chair and a bathroom break. That's got a tendency to really bring things close together, and it gets real, real quick.
Yeah, I told Greg if we'd have had a video camera on us, we'd have made $1 million.
That's right. Funniest home videos kicking in right there. But being able to speak of just different hunts, what's one of the hunts that you guys have partnered on that you think is your favorite? I know it's hard to it's like picking a kid, which is your favorite kid, but
Indiana. Yeah, so this year on our trip to Indiana, our guide and friend, Brandon, allowed us to come in a day early and for us to get a start on the hunt. And we chased some birds around the morning, didn't get anything to commit. We rode around for about an hour and a half and found a couple of birds in a field and snuck in and got up behind a hill. And Brandon went out with a fan and he said, look, when I start coming back, the birds are coming, be ready.
right.
So he went over and kind of flicked that tail feather at them and they came. And they were on a string. They came right into the decoys and were fighting each other and the Jake decoy. And when everything got settled down where Greg could take a shot, he shot and killed his 24 pounds and some change. Nice Tom, about an inch spurs. And Brandon had taken his bow. He had not killed a bird at that time. And the other bird stayed and he shot it and killed it with his bow and arrow.
So wow. You guys doubled up.
Yeah, I had a cowboy and Indian double.
That's right.
So I've seen it done, with a bow and then the shotgun, but not the shotgun and then the bow.
Yeah.
But it worked out. It was another great hunt, and this guy has become a true friend to us. And hopefully this spring will be year number 4 that we go up and are able to hunt with him and enjoy another adventure.
Well, old Greg doesn't miss, he's a little bit like Mike and I. We move slow, but we take our time. And when we pull that trigger or suck on the activator to use our Be Adaptive sip and puff triggers, we're pretty confident in the shot. It might take us a couple minutes to get on it, but we're pretty confident in the shot. And I'm looking at your wall there, Greg, and I see you don't miss, and you also are pretty good with the fishing pole. Looks like you got some really nice bass on your wall there too.
Yeah, he's quite the outdoorsman.
He's
real picky.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
I had to beg him to shoot a doe on a friend's farm last year.
Yeah, we don't get shots very often, so I'm kind of the same way. I'm picky. I'm gonna take my chances, and I'll wait it out.
Yeah.
Now, Greg, when you were first diagnosed with ALS, buddy, how did your faith kind of pull you through? And can you guys talk a little bit about, getting the diagnosis and how you're moving forward and how you're trying to help everybody get into the outdoors with A.L.S. Outdoors and the message that you guys are trying to put out there?
So I'm gonna read Greg's answers, so you'll hear my voice and not his. But right after my diagnosis in September of 2018, I created A.L.S. Outdoorz. I immediately started looking through social media and found Accessible Hunter. And when I, sorry, and when I saw Greg still enjoying the outdoors from a chair, it inspired me. So I thought to myself, how could I use A.L.S. to inspire others? So I started sharing my adventures to show people that no matter what life throws at you, that you can still do things that make you happy, even when you do it a little differently.
Yeah.
With God allowing me to do this, I've been able to see people with disabilities getting out and doing things they thought they would never be able to do. At least twice a week, someone sends me a message saying how my journey has inspired them. And I can't take credit for this. That's God's.
Yeah.
Answering my prayer through A.L.S. in my life. He has allowed others to be encouraged. And I
You
want to
know,
add something to that.
please do.
With Greg's motto, having the grit not to quit.
Yeah.
Take your time.
I was going to get in my truck, which has it on both sides. And a lady was walking down the street and read that and said, that is, I saw your truck the other day. And that really inspired me because she was going through a tough time in her life. So small things make a big difference.
Yes, sir.
You said a mouthful, man. There's a lot of times we go through things we may never understand why we're going through it. Um, you know, with paralysis, with ALS, with all these different diagnoses, I say it often, God didn't ask my opinion, but He gives us a new format. Um, I don't like the word inspiration, but if it inspires somebody else through life, that's what I love to see. And Greg, man, you're doing something phenomenal. I love to see your page pop up every day just to see the new adventures that you're getting in. And you're inspiring even old guys like me and Greg that have been hurt
Yes,
for a
sir.
very long time. And that's what it's about. It's about community. It's showing that life continues to go on and we just have to find a new way and find where God's at work and join him in that work. And I thank you for everything you guys are doing. And Keene, man, you're right. It is about finding that grit not to quit, but we can't do it without guys like you, man. So thank you for all you do for Greg, but also just being able to push his tail to get back out and stay on these animals, man.
It's been my pleasure.
Yeah.
We use that term a lot.
Yeah.
Funny, but it has been my pleasure.
Yeah.
Guys, before the podcast, we were talking about dogs. All of us have dogs, and I said, "Man, I hope mine doesn't bark on the podcast here." But Mike and I've got little dogs, but we don't have the international show dogs, the Westminster champion that Greg has with it, Xavier. And can you guys talk a little bit about what role pets and your companion dog Xavier plays for you, Greg?
So Greg writes, my favorite thing he does when he would go to the shows with his handlers, he would come home and find me and sit in my chair beside me to say hi. How have you been doing? And then I'd ask him, then I would, and then to ask you what to hear about. Do you want to hear about my trip? Uh, he is now retired, and we have his kids and grandkids doing well in the show ring.
You know, it's go ahead, Greg.
Oh, I was just going to say there's something special about a dog, you know, a good dog. And I've had service dogs over my life. I've been hurt 26 years. And when I was first injured, I had a lab pup, and I had to get rid of the puppy during rehab. And it was really hard on me because I had built a friendship with that dog,
Yeah.
and getting a service dog was a big priority. And when I got my service dog, it allowed me to do so much more. I mean, I got out more because of the dog. I went
Yeah.
to college and got my master's because of the dog. There's just such a special bond between man and dogs. And I know that she provides a lot of support for you, Greg. And if you're like me, I tell my dog things that I don't tell anybody else sometimes when we're alone and I'm having a bad day. I can talk to
Right.
my dog, you know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, man. You can't downplay that bond. And it doesn't matter how you treat the animal or what you're doing, they just keep coming back for that unconditional love. Man, I tell you, Xavier sounds like the type of dog that everybody needs. But especially when she wants to come back and share exactly how well she did in the show. But that's no small feat, you know, because you poured into her. She just wants to be able to share.
All right.
What do you guys have going on for the season here? Are you rifle hunting at home, Greg, or what's your next hunt going to be?
Yeah, we're deer hunting along his little 5 acre tract here. Some his little where he does his testing of deer products,
Yeah,
and so we plan to try to get a nice buck or a coal out of here with a crossbow. It's something he's never been able to do. He's killed him with everything else, even a pocket knife.
oh wow.
We won't get into that story, but it did happen. Um, his family has several hundred acres in eastern North Carolina. It's about 3.5 hours away, and his youngest son lives there and manages it. We'll try to muzzleloader and rifle hunt there this year. Um, then his oldest son is about an hour away and farms in a couple of counties over, and we're going to hunt that farmland too on short runs as my off days come together.
Yeah.
We're very blessed to have access to these places. We do have friends that have invited us to come up and stay at their place within an hour ride and do a little hunting with them also.
Well, that sounds exciting. I'm waiting to see about this crossbow shot. You know, that's one of the things I enjoy getting back out, but it's finding new ways just to challenge yourself. You know, being up in North Carolina, that's my neck of the woods from my younger days. But you guys seeing any bear movement up that way yet? Or
Yeah, on our East Carolina farm, there's a bear roaming around out there over 400 pounds. We
oh
got him on
wow,
camera. Yeah, we had one bigger than that 2 years ago, and the dog hunters were lucky enough to catch his scent and run him for about 5 miles before they were able to kill him. And he was well over 550.
wow,
Wow, that's an amazing bear. I've never had the opportunity to take a bear. I've hunted them a few times and even went to Canada on a bear hunt when I was younger. But that's definitely on the bucket list, Greg, for me as well. And I sure hope you get a buck with your crossbow. That's my favorite type of hunting is with my crossbow. What crossbow are you using this year?
He's using a 10 point.
There you go.
Yeah, I was in the archery industry for quite a while, and found found one at a really good deal a couple of years ago, and we've got it set up, and we've used it a few times. He's passed on some does, so we're just waiting on that buck to come in.
There you go.
We
With some of the challenges that you guys face with ALS and just getting back out in the woods, I know you mentioned technology like track chairs and whatnot. What do you think one of your biggest challenges with ALS is, Greg, just getting back out?
Well, from my side of things, we've kind of got the system worked out
Yeah.
to where getting him in the truck, getting him out of the truck, we have a pretty easy go of that, and getting into the track chair and the mobility. One of the issues we've had is with the right type of blind to
Yeah.
be able to leave set up. We have a 4-panel blind that has a flip up, which is fine for hunting without the track chair. We were able to attain a 6-panel blind, but I have to flip the whole blind up to let him drive in.
Yeah.
We've not found one with a flip door there. That would be huge for anyone with mobility issues, being able to flip that door up. And
Yes, sir. Just to let you guys know that Baronet makes a really nice blind with a flip up door,
Yeah.
and also Tidewee, kind of a newer company on the market. And I've used both, and that garage style flip up door on both of those blinds does make a huge difference with a track chair or just even a regular wheelchair, so you
Yeah.
can get in with everything. Huge difference.
Yeah, we've got one of the Baronets that, and that's what we've been turkey hunting out of the last few years. But when we added that track chair in Indiana, they had a bigger blind there, that 6-panel. And,
Yeah.
having a guide, a camera guy, and the track chair, it made a world of difference. Being able to move around and do the things we need to do to be successful.
Yes, sir.
Some of that technology works great. Me and Greg both use track chairs as well, and they're just unforgiving when you get inside of a blind. You can be like a bull in a china shop. It don't take a whole lot to tear the blind down. And just this last weekend, I was hunting in a spot, and we tend to, even with the track chair, I'll put down plywood or put down something so that I don't mar down very much, and it makes it a little easier for me to turn. But that me and Greg were talking about it right before you guys came in, just blinds getting blown away and figuring out new ways to stake them down. So I stake mine down using trampoline supports now. They're, rebar U-shaped 14-inch. And we stake the hound out of that thing, just trying to keep it from getting blown away.
That's a great idea.
But man, there's been times I'll get inside and try to get adjusted, and my track catch the side of that blind and just about rip the whole thing down. It makes a whole other dynamic when I'm the whirlwind tearing things up.
Yeah.
Greg, we love your saying, have the grit not to quit. That is so inspiring, and it's short and to the point, but it means so much, to many different people. Somebody that has a new diagnosis or a new injury or just thinking about getting out hunting, what would you like to say to that person?
I hope through A.L.S. Outdoorz, it encourages others with disabilities to see that they can still get out and enjoy the outdoors. I want to bring awareness to the hunting industry, and that we, as the disabled, need equipment and clothing designed for us, so we can enjoy the outdoors comfortably. I feel we have to be our own advocate and to get our own needs out there, and companies to take our input into their designs, not someone without a disability testing the product, for they don't have the concept of the challenges we face. I just want to challenge others not to give up and to keep doing what they love. And the best way to do that is for me to be a living example.
Absolutely. You know, you guys bring up a whole lot in that, Greg, and thank you for saying it that way. That, you know, we're not asking for a handout. It's more of a hand up. Just being able to
Mm,
show that everything is different. You know, none of these products are really designed for what our needs are unless there's a company out there that just specializes in it. But how have you seen social media help you through your ALS page, being able to help spread that? I know that you're a huge advocate, and you inspire people daily, including me and Greg. But how has that social media platform helped you, or how do you see it helping others?
Um, 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 uh, 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 um, he says he lets people see him
Yeah.
do it, do it. Um, um, with an attitude, positive. Yeah, with an attitude positive.
Absolutely. You know, that's one of the things I've always thought about you, Greg, that you've always had a positive attitude. You know, talking to you, emailing back and forth. There's a lot of different ways to communicate. You know, you and I have had some great conversations over instant messenger that have really touched me and lifted me up on days that I was having a bad day. You've lifted me up several times. And
Yeah.
I know that you're doing that for other people on a daily basis. And we've got a good friend, you know, Coy Varnum, who sends me a text every morning and
Yeah.
motivates me and gets my eye on the prize. And I'm sure you have a group of people that you communicate with in the same way on a daily basis. The hunting community, and especially the disabled hunting community, is a small group of people, and it's just amazing what social media allows us to do, and the people that we can reach out to all across the country or even across the world.
You know, there's a lot of things that we get into that that brings kind of light to the sport we enjoy. A lot of people don't think of hunting as a sport, but you know, getting back outdoors as advocates, especially with disabilities. Again, it's not about raising awareness just for the "hey, look at me" aspect. It's showing that life goes on. We're just finding new ways to do it. If you had a dream hunt, what would that be, Greg?
Um, 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 Marry them turkeys.
Oh
There
boy,
you
here we
go.
go. Yeah, here we go.
I I would love to do a grand slam, guys. I mean, I just think
Yeah.
turkey hunting is such fun. I mean, you get to talk back to that bird, you get to call them in. Your buddy this year that was reaping them, we're not really. I don't think we're allowed to do that here in Pennsylvania. I know different states have different rules, but that would be exciting to see. You know, if you were on private land and didn't have to worry about somebody stalking you out there in the field. But to get a Miriam or do the Grand Slam, the World Slam, turkey hunting has to be one of our favorite things to do, huh, Mike?
You know, it does good, but I think that's why I went gray and I lost most of my hair. Is I don't know what kind of animal that you can pick that's more aggravating than a doggone turkey to hunt.
and,
You know,
and
they
it's
got a pea-sized brain, but outsmart us every doggone time.
that's what
But
I
when
was gonna
they're
say, boys. It's got a brain the size of a golf ball. We've got master's degrees, and they got us scratching our heads on a daily basis.
every time throw you for a loop. But I'm right there with you, man. I would love to be able just to chase birds all over the country, and you see how all of them interact. But to hear how these guys had one coming in on a string, when God's got a plan placed out there, it's just it all comes to fruition. But
That's right.
you know, Greg, I don't know how your shooting ability does with ALS. me and Greg, we have such a small window when we're getting set up for a bird or whatnot. I kind of have to get positioned where I think that animal's going to come out, and that's why
Yeah.
we use the decoys and
Yeah.
whatnot. What's one of the
Um,
biggest challenges for you with ALS and trying to get on
um,
an animal?
um, um, turning.
Yeah,
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 being in the chair. We're kind of like you guys just talked about, getting set up in the right spot
yeah,
and being able to get those birds in front of us instead of beside us. And I know it's God sent that the birds have not hung up on our right or left. They've come in and given us an opportunity to
sure.
get on them. The first hunt that Greg and I did together, still, I just the day after I met him, we ended up with killing a pretty nice double, um, uh, with a unique color pattern on Greg's bird. Had a big white spot on its inner wing, but they came right to us. We saw 4 or 5 come out in the field, and he was he said, "I'm tired. I want to take a nap." But about the time his chin hit
Shoot,
his
no.
chest, I looked over his shoulder, saw him out in the side window, and I said, "Hey man, we got birds in the field. Are they Jakes?" And I don't know. And I looked. I said, "No, they're all Toms." And he starts breathing heavy, and uh,
Yeah.
I did too. I was getting excited. I said, "Watch this!" And I kind of leaned back, looked over his shoulder, and hit the call. 4 out of the 5 came running, and they
Wow.
were fighting and spurring and put on a big show. And I said, "Kill it." And he goes, "If I kill one, I'll kill two." And I said, "Well, let it clear and then kill
Let
it."
it go. Yeah.
And it did. It finally moved. He shot. The other 3 jumped up in the air and came straight back down, and I got my shot. So that was a
I-
pretty cool hunt. That's for me. That was my favorite because it was just me and him.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the hunt he spoke of earlier was, I mean, it was a very close second.
Keene, you're a pretty good buddy to wake him up and let him have first shot at the bird. You only get so many opportunities at that, Greg. And if you fall
Well, I
asleep
don't.
next time, I think Keene's going to shoot first and then wake you up.
Yeah. Well, he likes to post on social media of me taking naps.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so I got the original story where he was sleeping and I was watching. But
Yes,
That's right.
sir. Yes,
it's
sir.
it's been pretty good fun. He rags me pretty hard about sleeping in the blind.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Some of the best sleep right there. But a turkey coming in drumming is better than a cup of coffee. That right there gets your heart clicking. You'll find out real good if you have heart issues or not when that bird comes in acting a fool.
That's right,
But
boys. Well,
man, it's exciting to hear some of the adventures you guys have had, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from this fall.
Yeah, we're gonna have some. Greg wanted me to let y'all know that he's been fortunate enough to be hunting 6 years for turkeys, and he's killed 7 birds
wow.
Wow.
in that 6 years.
Well, guys, we sure appreciate you coming on the podcast today. And if you're willing, we'd love to have you back on again. It may be at the end of the
100%.
season, and
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
reminisce a little bit more because it was sure fun talking turkeys with you and deer hunting. And Greg, buddy, we love what you're doing. We love your message. I'm glad that you're friends with us, and you just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah. Greg has a note he'd like me to read real quick.
Please.
It says, "Before we go, I would want to thank you guys for having me and Keene on the Accessible Hunter podcast, allowing me to share my story, and for you both being an inspiration to me. To all who are watching, remember the only disability in our lives is your attitude. Love
Yeah.
you. Mean it."
Man,
Love you,
you said a
boys.
mouthful, brother. And it's I thank you very much, Greg, for all you do and for the inspiration that you give us daily. I look forward to those messages that pop up and just seeing everything you share through your social media. But man, your attitude, dude, that's one of the things that you can't fake. And you're doing so much more to be able to advocate far more than we can. This is a community, and without you, it's going to take all of our voices to allow things to be seen and heard. Keep doing what you're doing, man, and thank you again for coming on. Keene, try to stay awake in the blind, man, and kick his tail when you can.
I'm gonna try. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I got to give him some material to work off of. So.
Right. Give him a fighting chance, right?
Yeah.
Seven birds in 6 years. I think you guys are doing something right. I might have to start sleeping in the blind. That might be the key. But,
Yeah.
but guys, thanks so much for coming on. We sure appreciate you. Folks, tune into Greg's Facebook page. We'll put some links, and guys, have a great afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thanks again for having us.
We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Us too. Thank you.
Absolutely.